Hi, welcome back. This is the Speakerstack music channel. So in this video I'm going to show you how I've created an electro rock drum beat in Ableton 12. This is what I used as part of the drum beat for an electro rock track that I've just created called Jungle Shaker. If you're interested in checking it out, there's a link at the end of this video, and there'll also be a link to the playlist where I look at how I've created other parts of the song. So essentially these videos are about breaking down each section of the song and explaining how I've made it. So I'm going to give you a quick blast of the song, and then I'm going to show you how I've created the electro rock beat. Cool, so I had a lot of fun creating this. I really wanted to go for something, because it's electro rock, that it was a mixture between rock and electronic music. And I guess that's kind of manifested itself in the drum kit, because the drum kit is quite a rock sounding drum kit. So we've got, you can, and obviously in Ableton you can actually drop entire kits in on one instrument channel. These are the instrument channels down this side, and then you can build up all of the drum kit sounds on that one channel. But it's really restrictive because you then can't go in necessarily and apply different parameters to each of the drum kit sounds. So what I tend to do is I put each section of the drum kit on a separate instrument channel down the side here, which you can see I've done. They're all in pinky kind of orange or red down here. We've got a kick drum, a snare drum, a rim echo sound, which is the delayed sound which you may have just heard. We've got a couple of toms, a couple of hats, and a clap. So 8 in total, and I've grouped them all, which I do automatically tend to do with drum kits. So I can then go in and actually put universal effects on all of these drum kit sounds. But these might be things that I want to apply universally across all of the sounds, such as reverb, or if I want to EQ it in a particular way, etc., etc. I haven't done it on this particular song because each of the sounds was sounding pretty good as it was, but it's just a force of habit, and it's good practice to kind of group them in that way. So each of these instruments is on a separate channel, and it just really enables you to kind of build the drum kit sound that you want with the kind of parts that you want. But obviously you can see here, we've got the kick, we've got the snare, we've got an echo, we've got a couple of toms and the hats, and then we've got an additional clap. So it's kind of ticking a lot of the boxes of a drum kit with a bit of additional percussion on top with the clap. Now, with each of these drum channels, I've actually created and picked a particular sound that I wanted. So this is where you use Ableton's impulse instrument, and I have done previous videos on this, but I can't really advocate this enough. It's a great way of creating a song, and it just means that you can actually drop the drum sample in for that part of the kit that you want. So you find the impulse instrument by clicking on the suite of sounds up here, going to instruments, which is here, and then scrolling down, and we should have, I've got kick at the top, you should have their impulse. There you can see that. So if you click on that and then drag that into the instrument channel down here, we've already got that dropped in, so I won't do it, but essentially if you click on it and then drag it, you get that dropped into here. And then I've done that for all of the channels here, and then for each of the channels, if you then go into your sample section, you can then go in and you can actually find the sound that you want. So there's a huge long list here of sample sounds. You're better off just going to the top here, typing in kick, and then that will bring up all the kick samples that Ableton 12 has, and you can then select the sound that you wanted. So on this occasion, I've actually gone for one which is called Ghost Hack Dubstep Drum Loop 9, and that was really just a case of feeling around in terms of what was available and getting the kind of sound that I wanted. So that's what I did for the kick drum, and then the snare, again, an impulse instrument with a different drum sample, again typing in snare at the top here and auditioning some of the snare sounds and picking the one I wanted, and then again for the rim echo and the toms and the hats and the clap. And that's essentially kind of what I did for each of the instrument channels, and then I wanted to put some effects on each of them. And this is about EQing your drum kit in a particular way so that you're balancing out the sounds and you're not overlapping or muddying up certain parts of the frequency range. So you can see with the kick I've used an EQ8, which you can find in the audio effects, and then EQ8, clicking and dragging that in. I've got the kick in a lot of the lower frequencies boosted at around 100 Hz, dipping around 1000 Hz, and then a bit of high end on it as well. The snare tends to be really, you apply kind of a low cut high pass filter basically on this, using the EQ8, using these down here, really cutting that off and just boosting the high end of the frequencies. The rim echo is firmly in the mid frequencies, as are the toms, and then the hats are at the upper end of the frequency range, and the claps kind of across all of those mid to high frequencies. I've also dropped in some other effects on, for example, on the kick. I've got a utility which enables you to put the kick drum in bass mono, which means that anything in the frequencies lower than 100 Hz is in mono, and you can set that Hertz range there. On the snare I've got some reverb. On the rim echo I've got some reverb and delay, which you can see, and I've got the delay ping-ponging. Again, the delay can be found in the audio effects section, as can the reverb down here. I tend not to mess around too much with the reverb parameters, but I have increased the dry and wet according to the kind of sound that I want. On the toms, bit of reverb, and on the hats, again, just a bit of EQIA, and then some reverb on the clap. And that's essentially what I've done for the drum kit sound. So I hope that was useful. As I said, if you do find this helpful, it would be fantastic if you could like the video, enable me to push it out to more people. Please consider subscribing to the channel. And thanks for watching, and I hope you found the video useful.